I need a couple minutes away just to cool off because my head, I'm still like, you guys can see my blood pressure's up. I'm a little bit red, and I haven't been this pissed off since I played Warzone last night. Alright, I gotta do this quick because it is about to thunderstorm really bad. And if it's any implication as to yesterday's tornado around the Orlando area, then it's gonna be really nasty. But Sunday, June 7th, and as I've been telling you guys, we are still in the process of getting everything cleaned up. We're in the small office now where we've gotten the top bedroom completely filled out, completely cleaned. And this is what it looks like when you're moving, when you have to go up a week early or a couple weeks early. This is what this looks like. Well, that's a failure. Give me 1 second. This is what one weekend trip is going to look like. As you can see, a ton of boxes, a ton of books. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 of the really big ones. 1, 2, and then those back there are 3 deep each, and there's 3 columns. So we got about 13 bins coming up with us, and that's just that little bit that we got cleaned out so far. Now, if you guys saw that little bit of space that we had left, that's going to be for a couple of the clothes items and different things that we're going to bring up that we kind of need up, like some of the nicer clothes. We're not going to have a ton of space right away at my in-laws, and again, I'm completely thankful for my in-laws for taking us in during this time while we house hunt, we get acclimated and all that great stuff, but it's going to be an adjustment. There's going to be growing pains, as always. For anybody who was affected for the tornado last night in Orlando or any of the surrounding area, I'm wishing you the best. Sucks that there's natural disasters like this, especially with everything that's going on in the world today. Oh, it seems like we can't catch a break. So with that said, let's take a look at how nasty it looks, and I'm going inside. Holy smokes. Look at that. Look at that. That is rolling. Is it looking any more packed? Day 85, Monday, June 8th. We are still working hard. The boxes are slowly getting less and less. We are packing more and more. As I showed you guys earlier, it's getting a little bit crazy. The cart's packed up, ready to get jumped up to Orlando to unload and then come back later. But told you that it needs to be treated. It needs to get shopped. And definitely going to look into getting a reservation at a barbershop to get it done. And it looks like the barbershops are doing a pretty good job around here, at least the ones I've been going to, about covering the face and all that good stuff. So had to go to the grocery store for a second, had to get a couple of things that we needed. Still no toilet paper or paper towels, which is really weird. Yeah, I figured as much it would start to die down, but I guess we're just gonna have to get some when we're in Orlando, because it seems to me like Orlando has kind of caught up with their mindset as far as, like, I'm not saying that everything needs to be public and open, but it looks to me like everything's open and people are at least rational with their decisions. It's Tuesday, day 86 of the quarantine. I'm not sure how to say this, but I'm a little bit frustrated, a little bit perturbed, to the point where my wife and I are getting into an argument over a company being paid to come out and do a job that they're supposed to do. So a little bit about it. You guys saw back a couple weeks ago, we got some work done on our toilets, and I saw nothing but praises for the company that came out to work. Now they sent someone else who, I'm not trying to assume anything, but the person they sent out shows signs of being a little bit under the use of illicit things. Maybe he's drunk, maybe he's doing a little bit of weed. I'm not here to speculate what he's doing, but he's not really seemed like he's someone of a fit nature. The reason why I say this is when we sat him down and explained to him what was going on, his initial reactions when he came to the house, my wife told him he didn't have to wear his rubber booties, and I get why he did it. It's to show a sign of respect to the customer and their house, but at the same time, maybe it's company policy. But when we were talking and basically our interactions, maybe he's weird, maybe he's a little bit awkward. I know I can be at times. He didn't really have the responses that a normal person would. And again, how do you define normal? It's not really definable, but at the same time, you guys understand what I'm saying. He didn't have the reactions, he didn't have the communication that you would expect from a worker to come out. Now, when he got started, there was a leak in our toilets. There's 2 screws that goes into a toilet on the bottom where it connects the tank, which what holds the stuff that allows you to flush and all that good stuff. The tank and the bowl are two separate things, and the two bolts that hold it together was to the point they were so old that the tank started leaking. We understood, and what we had done a couple weeks ago had nothing to do with what's being done today, and we understood that. We're not trying to get free work done. We understood that the guy that came out before, an amazing worker, he got shit done. The guy that's coming out now, a little sketchy. He has a whole entire trunk full of parts. Maybe he doesn't have the right one. I understand that you're not always going to be equipped with the job that's there. Maybe certain things arise that you're not foreseeing. Understandable. But when you leave the house at 12:15 and you say, okay, well, I got to run to Home Depot. I got to get the parts. I'll be back maybe 30 minutes tops. We're waiting. My wife and I, we're waiting because we're not going to have a stranger in our house without us there, obviously. And number two, I'm not going to have a stranger in the house with my wife there alone. That's just not who I am. It's not that I'm not trustworthy, but at the same time, you never know what would happen in days like these. And again, I don't live my life scared, but at the same time, why would I put my wife or myself in a situation that I wouldn't be comfortable in? He left at like 12:15. It was 2:15 when we called the company. We're like, hey, can we get an update? He's been gone for a very long time. He only said it'd be about 30 minutes. We're just wondering when to expect it because we have things we have to do. The guy goes, okay, well, let me call. No idea what's going on. No idea what's happening. Puts us on hold while he calls him. He finally gets in contact with the guy after being on hold for 5-10 minutes, and he tells us that the guy had a blowout on his tires. Okay, happens, understandable. Proceeds to tell us, okay, well, he's gonna have to get his van worked on. Can he come out tomorrow or Thursday at the same time? Meanwhile, there's literally sitting water, like it's like a puddle on our floor. And if you guys don't know much about flooring and much about plumbing and much about just water in general, we have a carpet that leads into it. So we don't want that water that's there to lead into the carpet that can create mildew and mold and all that. We also don't want it sitting there because it can create issues on the flooring itself, connecting the shower and the toilet and the stuff that's already there. We need to get it done today. Now, I'm understandable that things happen that he cannot control. That's not what I'm complaining about. What I'm complaining to is, as a worker, I would think to call my boss, whose company van I'm working with and driving, that there's 2 flat tires and that we need to call AAA out. As a company, I would call the people that we were just at and the people after us who he has a route with, because we were explicitly told we weren't the only ones to be worked on today. I would call every single person that would affect it, let them know, hey, we have a blowout. It might be a little bit, but especially the people whose house you were at, because we have standing water. And no offense, but I'm not going to pay for the problems that this guy created. I don't know. Maybe it's a first world problem. Maybe it's just me being a privileged guy. I don't know. It's not about being privileged, because I'm not. The fact is, I'm paying this guy for a service. I expect it to be done. But when you as a company tell me you're not going to get out till tomorrow or Thursday, have someone else come out. It's an emergency. Pay the guy, pay your workers a little bit more to keep the customer happy, and you'll have ongoing business. I'm not saying that the company's a bad company, because I don't want one bad worker or 2 bad workers or one bad experience make my ruling on the company for forever. The manager that I've talked to and the last guy who came out to fix my toilets, not today, but the previous time, amazing workers. These guys are 5 stars out of 5 stars. These are the guys I would hire. But the guys that I've talked to today, not a fan of, not really happy with the service that I'm getting. I'm sitting here for a 7-minute video I'm rambling on. I'm at the post office to get some stuff done. I need a couple minutes away just to cool off because my head, I'm still, like, you guys can see my blood pressure's up. I'm a little bit red, and I haven't been this pissed off since I played Warzone last night. So, you know, things are going to happen. It's going to happen. So I'm going to go back home, pack up a little bit, and I'll see you tomorrow. All right, guys, it is Wednesday, day 87 of the quarantine. Day 87. Never thought I'd be saying that. I honestly, when we were at the very beginning of the quarantine, the week before everything was shut down, I never predicted anything like this would ever happen. So a little bit of an update after yesterday's debacle of a plumbing situation. We called the people back. After the 3 hours of waiting for an update, we finally got in touch with the office. They said that he had a blown tire and that the van is moving, that he would be back within 20 minutes. 40 to 50 minutes later, he finally shows up, and I'm saying this as the nicest way I can. This guy was on something, or he was just, there's something wrong, because you guys have seen the house. We've walked through. We've had all sorts of things happening. You guys have seen the backgrounds of my videos, and we don't have that big of a house. I mean, 3.5 baths, 3-bedroom house, and you literally had spent 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours working on it earlier that morning. There's no way you should be spun completely around. He gets there, starts working at 6:40. I go in, I ask him how's it going. He says not too bad. He's got a couple of things he's got to finish up. It'll be, roughly an hour, maybe, if that. My wife goes back in about an hour later, and the guy tells her it's going to be 20 minutes. He's almost done. It's going to be 20 minutes. Mind you, he's gone back and forth to his van multiple times. 30 minutes after the 20-minute estimation comes by, I go in there. He's not in there. I go out to the van. He's hanging out in his van looking for something. I go, hey, listen, man, I think it's time. I asked him for an update. He goes, well, it's going to be about 10 more minutes. I stopped him. I said, listen, man, you said 20 minutes, 30 minutes ago. At this time, as a customer, we're kind of done. Take it for what it is. You had a shit day. It's time to pack it up and go home. I'm not trying to get him in trouble with his boss, but he did not fix anything. I sat him down. I told him he's got to clean his stuff up. He's got to clean the floor up, stop the water going to the bathroom, and then get his stuff and go home. That we'll call the company tomorrow morning and we'll have someone else come out and finish the job. When I tell you, his eyes just sank. He felt completely defeated. He had enough, and it wasn't that he was crying, but I didn't want him to feel too bad because he honestly did put forth effort, and I feel like in the bottom of my heart, I feel like he tried his best, but he just didn't finish it. So what we did was we called, we explained everything. We had the supervisor, the overnight supervisor that hears everything, literally contacted us later that night, and he was baffled about how he was unable to complete the job, and it's taken him now collectively at our house 5 hours. It's a bit ridiculous. So we found the paper that we had them work on earlier the month, and so we called again. The guy was like, hey, is there anything I can do? Is there any way I can keep your business? We're a mom and pop store. We're not a big company. We want to do everything in our powers to make you guys happy. And so we explained to him that the person that came out prior to the guy was perfect, and that if they can guarantee us tomorrow, if they can give us the person that they had earlier come out the time before, that we'll keep it going. We'll pay what we need to pay. We're not asking for a discount or anything like that. We just need this fixed. Today, the guy came out 12 o'clock. He looked at it, and I can say this from someone who's experienced something very similar. If I put in work and I know my work's good and I do what I'm supposed to, if someone pre-emphasizes from the same company, if someone does a shit job that I have to basically take everything they did out to give me to not only do my job and know how to do my job, but to take out extra stuff and make my job even harder, I'm pissed. And with like a plumbing company, these people are paid by the hour. They give them jobs to do, they send them out, and they expect them to get it done. I don't know what the issue was with the guy that came in yesterday. Listen, I wish him luck, but I don't think that's the profession for him, because the guy who came out today was telling me about how he had trouble with flooding other people's houses and previous things. And he wasn't just talking bad about them. He was just explaining why he was worried. He was telling us about all the things that he was having issues with prior to coming out yesterday, basically to the point where he's like, dude, if this company keeps them, I'm leaving. And it was like, he wasn't talking like this guy. He took his job professionally. He took pride in his job, and I respect that. He wasn't there just to talk down, but he was just explain what the issues have been. For the guy that came out today, hey, hats off to you, because you get that shit done, and you get it done correctly, and you get it done high and tight. People that have employees like this dude would be happy to keep him. Should I actually give him a fucking raise, because he kept customers when we've had such a shit experience that I don't know anybody who would keep up with that. So I don't know if you guys can see, we get the fresh shave, well, actually the cleanup, but the fresh cut. I love the barbershop that's down here that I go to, and especially my barber, big guy, but the issue is I don't know anybody up in Orlando, and it takes a while for me to get that shit done. So I don't know who I'm going to go to when I'm up there. And plus, my wife and I have fingerprints and drug tests and an orientation to go to. So we wanted to look nice for the orientation, because we're going to get our picture taken and all that good stuff. And we want to make a good first impression on the people that we're going to see, because, new environment, new hold issues. So we wanted to make sure that we are looking our best. So she got her hair done, and the person that cuts her hair is actually a ex-co-worker's mom, and my wife got a little bit of pink highlighted into it. Like, it's subtle, but it looks really nice. Me, I go up high and tight, got the sides, got the fresh buzz cut, the lines into it. It's gonna suck, and for me, it's not that it's hard to cut guys' hair, but it's difficult finding a barber that I trust enough because I've had some barbers that suck, I've had some hair places that suck, but then I had this guy in this actual company who has multiple locations renovations down here be awesome. Maybe it's time for me to start looking. I don't know. I don't really get my hair cut that much anyway, but I want to be able to have it when I'm up there. Cheesecake Factory tonight. Don't worry, we're not blowing all of our money, but my wife found a gift card, so we're treating ourselves. We got the realtor coming in tomorrow to see something, just to give us a heads up or a look around, and he's going to help us post it to market. So someday. Hey guys, I know the video's probably going to get claimed, but I don't know if you hear this. Oh god, I'm gonna have to enhance the volume, but. My neighbors are jamming out to Avril Lavigne, and that wouldn't be weird if the fact that they weren't like late 50s, early 60s. That is hilarious. I love Avril. You know. Anyway, if I haven't mentioned it by now, it is day 80, 89. Yeah, it's Friday, so day 89 of the quarantine. It is June. Oh, this is gonna be the hard one. June 12th. Because it's a Friday, and we are about to go run to Home Depot to cover up the opened light switches, because we are actually showing the house this weekend while we're away. Our realtor, who actually lives in the neighborhood, is awesome. He's been working hard for the last couple of days. We're listing at a decent price. That's none of your business, and we won't disclose that, but I really appreciate the hard work of people, if you guys haven't learned that by now. But we are having to run by Home Depot and do that, and if you guys are worrying about the crazy, horrible, shaky cam quality, just know my dogs are pulling while I'm outside, so you either get it or you don't. But heard that going, so I had to it's hilarious. But also, we put 2 box springs out for the trash pickup yesterday. They left them out, so we had to give them a call. Apparently, you have to give them a call if the trash is too much.